Welcome to The Twist, everybody, America's only clothing optional podcast. And I guess it's also a vlogcast. I don't know, what do they call those now on YouTube?
Vlogcast.
Vlogcasts. We're both, and we do it all. This is Mark McNease here in New York City with my co-host,
Rick Reynolds in Shreveport, Louisiana. I just love that. I know exactly what you're going to say before I say it.
No, but isn't it more fun now than having it pre-recorded?
Oh, yeah. We used to have a pre-recorded one, folks, but now we're live and we're with you 24/7.
Right, we're in the moment. We take chances. So, anyways, Rick, I just want to say good morning. It's good to see you. I understand that you have a big day coming up tomorrow.
Excuse me, I just coughed. I have a big week. Yeah, man, I'm turning 52 tomorrow. Usually I don't really celebrate my birthday except in 5. So my 50th was big in Wisconsin. A bunch of people came up there that had never seen snow. We snowmobiled and fished and ice fished and all that. My 40th was a cruise with my 40 favorite friends. Oops, you weren't there.
I couldn't make it. You know, you don't live nearby. I wanted to be there. I was there and in your heart, for sure.
You're always in my heart. So that's what I said this year, speaking of which, because my father lived only to 52. His birthday was also in January. And that's a milestone birthday for those of you who have lost a parent. You know, the year they live to is often one that you kind of look at differently once you've surpassed it. So this week, my friends have been great. I went out, had chicken wings last night. I got a big party Thursday and Friday. And hey, I'm wearing a Puma hat because, like you said, maybe Puma will watch it and become our sponsor. And Pumas are my favorite shoes for my birthday.
And I'm wearing a red skull cap for those who listen. We do have a nice listening audience, which is great. But I want to remind them, of course, you know, if they want to be supportive, just go on over to YouTube and type in the Twist Podcast. You can see us there live. Well, not live, but, you know, in person. And also, please subscribe. We just launched this on a new YouTube Twist Podcast channel on YouTube, and we sure could use some subscribers and stuff. So check us out.
We're not, to point out, we're not in it for the money. We just think it's fun when you get to see us because, boy, Mark, how much have we made so far since putting ourselves on video?
$1.56, Rick.
We
pulled in $1.56 in ad revenue. So, I'm impressed.
Well, it's a third a cup of coffee at a Starbucks or something, you know.
Yes. And anyways, what's going on? Keep it moving.
Well, see that painting behind me? I just want to pay tribute to my friend Ilse Holzer. My best friend died on my 40th birthday or 2 days before. It's a beautiful painting of hers. Mark, you remember Ilse?
Of course I do. I stayed. Did I stay in her house? No, but I remember her from Hannibal. And Milwaukee before that.
Previous to that, Milwaukee, we lived in a couple cities together. My friends here at a restaurant called STEM Restaurant here in Shreveport have hung a tribute of her work. They took some of my collection and put it on their wall, and I sent it to her daughter, Nikki, in Milwaukee. I sent some pictures of it, and anyway, here's the reels.
I liked her a lot. Also, with the birthday thing, I do decades. Like 40 was a big one, 50 was a cruise. 60 is only, how far am I from 60? About a year and 9 months. And
wow.
I was making some comment about aging, the consequences of aging the other day when our friends were visiting. And he's 5 years older than me. He's 62. And but he said, he was like poo-pooing me and saying, you know, people in their 50s shouldn't complain about aging, you know, because and my sister said once you hit 60, it's unavoidable, the stuff that goes on. No matter how healthy, she's extremely healthy, and she's getting a hip replacement because you can't healthy eat your way out of bone degeneration, you know.
Well, that's so true. I was in a gym class yesterday. My friend Jill teaches it, and it's teachers, and they're doing a challenge like lose weight, fat, whatever you call it, big loser thing, January 1st thing. And one of the gals that's in the class, the teacher, she's had nine, count them, Mark's, knee surgeries. And she's probably in her 50s. I'm just like, damn, I'm getting in shape, Mark. That's a big part. I know it's a big part of everyone's New Year's resolutions, folks. But I am really, truly committed. And also, Mark, you'll love this. Lent is just around the corner. Fat Tuesday coming sooner than you know it down here in the Deep South. And for Lent, as you know, I give up alcohol. And alcohol is a big source of sugar. And so I'll probably take 25 pounds out pretty quickly over 40 some days. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Excellent. I'd like to drop 10 before our cruise in 3 weeks. It's hard. It's just hard. But anyways.
Hey, so we got to take a little break while you're cruising too, just to remind our audience.
Oh, that's true, because we're going to be on a boat, and I ain't paying for no Wi-Fi on a boat. I mean, talk about $1.56. That won't get me 5 seconds off a boat.
It's crazy. My friend Julie's on a cruise, and she's showing shots of the zip lines and the rock climb. I'm like, I just told a friend that yesterday, Mark, because they didn't understand that on a cruise ship you pay to post on Facebook by buying time, and it's
I didn't know
expensive.
that. I mean, I know you have to buy online access.
Well, that's what I mean. In order to get on your Facebook, yeah, I mean, you know it, and it's expensive. So, but yeah, have a good cruise. It is probably a clothing optional cruise, I'm sure, because that's all you do anymore. Everything's clothing optional.
Well, I got my boxers on again, but this is like TV where you don't see us from the way, from below the waist, which is fine.
Speaking of TV, we got some reality TV in the making for tomorrow, inauguration day or day after.
Oh my God, it's not tomorrow, please.
Shit, fuck, I know, but it's close enough to my birthday to get me upset. We won't go down that path.
Well, we will eventually during this conversation, I'm sure, because
But
our
then
TV,
we're gonna.
I don't really watch much TV anyways during the day, and I certainly will be. I haven't decided whether I'm going to drape my Facebook page in black or if that's just too activisty. I don't know.
It is what it is.
Well,
but
what is it really? Whose mind does it change? I don't know.
I know, and the reality is, you're right. Inauguration is something with a president that I like Obama. I didn't watch. I mean, here's the reality, though. Like, I think his first inauguration had 1.8 million people. Of course, it was a significant inauguration, our first African American president, and a young president at that. Talking about change, this dude that's getting inaugurated, our president to be, is pulling about 900,000 people. He's got a Facebook.
Oh, you took my first headline
story. Okay, I'll let you
do
have it. No, we'll move into our headlines because I want to hear what your twist on that, so to speak. Mark and I like to start our show with some good red lines. These are headlines in the news that are a little twisted. So let's go ahead, Mark. Start the show.
You're shaking your knee. You're shaking something. I can tell because your video.
Oh my God, you sound like my father and mother at the dinner table. My brother and I used to shake our knees all the time.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just like this,
when
Mark.
you're on camera,
it
it kind of,
I know. Okay, I'll stop.
So you ready for the red lines? Whatever we call them, headlines. Yeah, speaking of Donald Trump and Facebook, he's purchased a targeted Facebook ad to promote his inauguration attendance, and it was sent out to people ages 27 and older. So it's kind of sad. That's his favorite word, when he's humiliating people or attempting to, is that it's sad. Well, it's pretty sad, and I try not to be mocking. It's one thing to be critical. I don't want to mock. It's not really me. But it's pretty sad when you got to send out a Facebook invite, and then Zuckerberg, I maybe gave him the ad for free. I don't know, but to get people to come to your inauguration. Okay, Trump demands officials justify massive spending on federal AIDS program. Did you see that?
Yeah.
PEPFAR is a global AIDS initiative that's comes out of the U.S. and the Trump administration, along with demanding names of people who work in the Justice Department, all these names so they can blacklist people and fire them. They're now demanding accounting on PEPFAR because they're spending too much money. They need more money for those billionaire tax cuts. That's what I'm sure is going on.
That's twisted.
It is twisted, and we're gonna. But by the way, Twisty's on Light and Sound now. And she's doing an excellent job. So when you folks watching the video are going to get to hear some fun sounds. Including
that's cool. Yeah, Twisty, by the way, is our intern. She's very excited to be working with us, but I'm concerned for Sir. If it's Sir, or what would it be?
I don't know them.
I'm concerned for them because we don't know what's going to happen over the next few years. But
we don't.
She's
and
fine.
I got a piece about that coming up here. Newly discovered moth species was named after Trump. And I think this was not. No, I don't think this was meant to be insulting. Just cool. Days before he takes office, he has the honor of being having a newly discovered species of moth named after him. Evolutionary biologist Vazrik Nazari, who named the new species Neopalpa donaldtrumpi. It looks Italian, but I'm sure it's Latin. Said he was inspired by the resemblance of the scales on the front of the moth's head to Donald's hairstyle.
That's twisted.
Yeah, but it's quite an honor. Betsy DeVos, you know who she is? I don't know if it's DeVos or Devos. It's devilish. That's for damn sure.
When Elizabeth Warren read her beads yesterday,
she's going to be, because they're not going to turn anybody down unless they take their nomination out. But she's going to up for Secretary of Education. Of course, she hates public education. She's never been to a public school. None of her children have gone to a public school. She's from Michigan. She has done her best at assaulting the public school system in Michigan. She's promotes for-profit Christian charter schools. She wants tax dollars going to Christian charter schools. So anyways, she was asked about guns in schools, and of course I'm sure she would like everyone to be armed from the second grade up. But she responded by saying that you might need them to kill grizzly bears. So...
Oh God, that is twisted.
Yeah, I'm quoting, the black time quote of Barack Obama ends, Russia celebrates Trump's inauguration. We knew that was coming. Their champagne corks are popping in Moscow. I'm telling you, you could not invent an American president who seemed more like a Russian agent. You just couldn't do it. You know, he wants to dismantle NATO. He's dismissing the European Union as, you know, who cares about them. And he sure is licking up that Vladimir Putin juice, let me tell you. Wherever it's coming from, I don't know. But it's wrong, man. It's wrong. And this is one of those things that people need to be alarmed about. Because I live in a country where the greatest generation, my father fought in Germany. These people, Russia is not our friend. And to have a sitting president who you suspect has got some backdoor shit going on with Russia is not comforting. Now, a mother-in-law inspired a bill to protect drivers who accidentally run over protests.
What?
And this comes from the Dakota Access Pipeline protesters, but it could be a model for the rest of the country. A House bill was sponsored by a state, and this is in North Dakota? Mm-hmm. Anyways, State Rep Keith Kempenich, the owner of a trucking company, put this bill forward. Because drivers in the state apparently were saying they were terrified of the protesters blocking traffic. But one distraught driver in particular was his 72-year-old mother-in-law. So it will soon be perfectly okay to run down protesters, and they don't have to be black. Lady Liberty is modeled after our society's continued evolution. Did you see this about the coin? The $100 gold coin. This is something I thought would definitely catch your attention. The new face on the $100 gold coin is a black woman.
Oh, that's cool.
I think it's amazing, and it's going to drive the right crazy. You know, like why would you put a black person on a coin? But anyway,
because it's black gold, Mark. Who is it though? Who are they honoring?
I don't know. I didn't dive that deep, but it's for real. It's not fake news.
Yeah, and, that did pique my interest because that is one that I'll go deeper on to figure out because they've talked about Harriet Tubman being on the new, paper bill that's coming out. So it'd be interesting.
It will be. I got just two quick things. I know I should. I tried to narrow. I had like twice as many, and I cut it down. How many LGBT Americans are there? Just how many? A new study is coming out, and it's inching closer to that 1 in 10. The mythical 1 in 10. Of course, they tried to downplay us in the last few years, saying there's only like 3%. Blah blah. Like it makes a damn difference how many of us there are. But
we're queer. Yeah, 7.3 or something. Right?
It's getting up toward 10. Thanks to millennials. Okay, we got to give props to Twisty and the genderqueers because they're identifying this way now, and it's getting us where we ought to be in terms of statistics. And then my last one is a woman in Brooklyn was accused of hoarding rabbits. She's it's just one of those twisted headlines. Her Dorota Trek. She's a recent Polish immigrant. Anyway, she's facing 2 years in prison for having 176 rabbits in her house.
Wow. Is she a magician?
No, she just likes rabbits. She started out with 2, and you know what they say about rabbits. Apparently, it's true.
Tricks are for kids?
No, rabbits breed. You didn't know that?
So do cats. So do dogs.
Pardon my language, but effing like a rabbit.
Bunny.
Like a bunny.
I hope he puts like a beep 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 in there where you said.
We'll see. Or a gasp.
Now,
my last one I'm going to save for my big topic, which has to do with Ben Carson referring to LGBT protections in housing as special rights. Here we go again. So that's it for me. What you got?
I'm crossing myself. It's been an interesting week. Let's keep it in New York City and talk about the women of New York City since you talked about that like a bunny person. Here's the headline. This badass mom breastfed while competing in a marathon. That's right. Mother of 4. Emily Sabato nursed her 9-month-old daughter, Hadley, while running the New York City Marathon. And her husband, Chris Herman, photographed the incredible moment. Photos online.
Wow. She's running with the baby?
Yeah, breastfeeding well. She was walking with her baby.
Excellent
Interesting.
parenting.
Parenting. And let's speak of pairing. Two headlines back to back. Here's the first. I'm going to food, Mark. Subject of my headlines or red lines
You're
is
the
food.
critic. I love that. You're
because
you're on the food beat.
I am. Even though I may not enjoy breast milk any longer, although I was a formula baby, it technically is food. Here's the headlines. These two go hand to hand. There might be a boozy Ben & Jerry's ice cream coming soon. New flavor on the horizon called Urban Bourbon. Look for it. Pair it with
bourbon
this
flavoring, by the way. Kids aren't going to get loaded on it, right?
No, they won't. I don't think there's enough in it because there's laws in every state to sell alcohol ice cream. So I think it's truly bourbon flavor. Next one, and speaking of which, you can buy this at a grocery store too. We tried Jack Daniel's whiskey coffee, so you don't have to. Quote under says, believe me, I came from a long line of people who know what whiskey tastes like. Yes, 150-year-old whiskey distillery recently released their version of coffee in partnership with the World of Coffee, made of 100% Arabica coffee, so it's a good coffee, but people that have tasted, including this writer, said it sucks ass.
What is Arabica, by the way? I see it all the time, and it's like, what is it? Is it like artisanal? Is it some like made-up thing?
Well, you capitalize it, so it's not a country. We'll have to look it up. No, it's not. It's like, it's like it's like special beans.
Oh, okay. I gotta have some.
But not the Jack Daniels. Aren't that good? Here's one. I love this one. Taco Bell's always so creative, man, when they came out with that. Remember when they came out with that? And it didn't last long. The Captain Crunch dessert, where they made these big Captain Crunch squares and filled them with like oozy stuff. Do you remember those?
No, I never saw that.
Oh, God. Oh, really? And they also came out with, remember, Cheetos burrito. They've come out with
Wow, I didn't know this about them. That's fascinating.
Yeah, they're known for that. It's interesting. So here's the one. This one might really get you. Here's their newest mashup. Taco Bell's latest creation is a fried chicken monstrosity. It's coming out January 26th, released in select cities last year. It's going to come out nationwide in the 26th. Here's what it is, Mark. They're calling it the Naked Chicken Chalupa. Inside of it is a typical chalupa, but on the outside, the shell is made out of 100% fried chicken. The shell is chicken, and the chicken is in the shell, they say.
That's really interesting in a bizarre way. It's twisted.
Twisted way. Two more to go. Taking it off. This cafe will give you a free meal if you work out for 6 minutes. So why not try that? It's called the Run for Your Bun Cafe. It's in London. They're billing it as a new venture. It's the world's first cafe that takes exercise as payment. You come in, you book your lunch reservation, then you complete a 6-minute workout consisting of rowing and spin and treadmills. And once you're done, you get a free meal.
To just completely undermine what you did.
Yeah, to undermine what you did. And speaking of restaurants, on January 11th only, I don't know if you heard about this. It kind of ties in with your insect or butterfly or whatever that creature was being named after Donald Trump. This company, where are they out of? The restaurant is called Community Restaurant and Lounge in Bethesda, Maryland. They introduced the Golden Showers Burger. Have you heard of it, Mark?
Oh, my God. No.
The headline reads, would you eat this Golden Shower Burger inspired by Trump? That's right. The post that I found on their Facebook page basically says, the Golden Showers Burger, happy ending included, which is a lemon glazed donut, comes alongside a burger that is drenched with self-tanning cheddar and yellow mustard leaking down the sides and topped with a very small pickle, folks.
I was going to ask you what the secret sauce was. You just told me.
I don't think I'm just reading from their Facebook page. $20 for that burger, folks. One day only. I don't think they'll bring it back tomorrow.
It's for the inauguration, right?
Yeah, they kind of did it leading to inauguration. So those are my red lines. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. I'm going to get into my big topic, but I guess what made me think, the inauguration made me think, by the way, Sunday Morning did a piece on the young singer who's doing the inauguration, and she's got a transgender sister. I mean, it was a fascinating piece, but it did make me think that, people shouldn't be attacking she's very young. I don't know if she's 12 or 13, what she is, 14. But anyways, she's got a right to say, it's a huge opportunity, regardless of what you think of the incoming administration. It's a huge opportunity for this young girl with an amazing voice to sing in front of, it really is kind of an honor. It's unfortunate that the person taking the office takes that away for so many people because it is an honor to perform at the inauguration. Anyways, don't attack her. She's fabulous, and leave her alone. You ready for the big topic?
Yeah, I am. I wanted to look up real quick over we're online here, Arabica. So last chance to think what it is and tell me what it is. Here it goes. You ready?
It's some kind of process.
It's a species of coffee originally indigenous to the forests of the southwestern highlands of Ethiopia. So it must be a mountain. They say it's a mountain coffee. So it is regional.
Right. Have you had cold pressed coffee?
Yeah, I love cold press, and Dunkin' Donuts is doing it now.
That's funny because I hate it. I've had it a couple times. I don't like the way it tastes at all, and it's more expensive.
Oh, it's way more. And how about Cafe Americano? Nothing new. Have you ever had that? Because it's similar.
Oh, sure. That's just espresso with hot water.
Yeah, so it's a similar taste to me because it's the strength of the coffee.
I don't know. Maybe I just had some bad stuff. It just tasted like it had been. I don't know. I didn't like it. So my big topic: special rights for all. That's for our headline, for the podcast headline. But anyways, Ben Carson, who knows nothing about housing at all, but he is African American. He's black. As you know, I'm actually. This was funny. Can I go on a tangent?
Oh yeah, of course.
For just a minute. We were in Philly for Sunday. We walked around as a day trip from the house. And there were historic signs up, and I was so pleased because they used the word black with a capital B, like this is where, the Underground Railroad, and they used the word black with a capital B instead of African American. You're totally blocking.
I know because I'm trying to do something, Mark. Okay, now listen.
Go ahead. Anyways, they're on the tip. I love Philly, and Philly is always ahead of the game. And there are a lot of black people, including my dear friend in Las Vegas, who are not interested in being called African American. They don't like it. And so I was really pleased to see these signs in Philly that use the word black, capital B. So that's what I do. I'm sort of, you fall into the habit of saying what you think you're supposed to say and what everybody else says, but I'm getting away from the term African American. Anyways, Ben is black, so that qualifies him to, and he's like a insane conservative, and that's what qualifies him to run HUD. But he was asked about his previously stated opinions about queer people, and of course he doesn't like us very much. But he said that he opposes extra rights, which is also the same thing as special rights for anybody, and he's really talking about LGBT people in housing. Wow. He's not talking about marriage. And the article, it's a really good article, and it goes on to talk about how pervasive discrimination is against queer people in housing and how you can be denied public housing. You could be denied an apartment. In most states, it doesn't have to be public. You can just, somebody can say, I don't like faggots, and you're not going to rent my house or my apartment. So it's really alarming, and he's going to be running HUD, and that's my big topic is that the whole special rights thing, I was kind of hoping we were past that with marriage equality, but obviously we're not.
That's interesting.
We don't want special rights, and I'm being absolutely serious here. It has never been about special rights. The oldest protected class in this country is religion. You want to talk about special rights? Cisgender people, heterosexual people, Christians have had special rights, if you want to go there, for a very, very long time. All LGBT people have ever wanted is equal rights. We want equality. We wanted to go ahead. You go on.
No, it's interesting because, this is conversation time. But what's interesting to me is how do you feel about hate crimes then? And hate crimes being punished with stronger, more severe penalties.
But that goes to attacks on minorities are also a hate crime. Attacks on blacks and Jews, and those are hate crimes. Hate crimes are not exclusive to queer people.
I wonder how you feel about that. If he's leaning toward taking, not that he'd have the right to do that in his position as secretary.
Well, he obviously, like a lot of them, puts us in a completely separate category.
I know.
I agree. They have no problem protecting blacks or Asians or Jews, or they're not so ready to protect Muslims, but they don't see us as a minority. They see us as a bunch of people who made these perverse choices in our lives, and so it's okay to deny us equality. But personally, if you really want to know, I'm not a fan of hate crimes laws. I think murder is murder. I think if you're beat up, you're beat up.
I
And
agree, and I would like to see everyone look the same. You know, it was interesting yesterday with the announcement of Chelsea Manning is being released from prison earlier. She was on Obama's list to release, and it was kind of surprising because he has not been one to really be kind to those involved in WikiLeaks and things like that. But if you haven't heard the news in the last 24 hours, Chelsea Manning's been released. What I loved about the stories, Mark, did you see
will
they
be released
buried?
in May.
Yeah, and it was going to be like 35 years down the line, and it's awesome. But they buried the story of her, her being sexually confirmed into her original gender as a woman, born as a man, now a woman. That happened last September. A big battle over if the U.S. should pay for that because she was in a federal prison, etc. But that wasn't even part of the story yesterday, and everyone's comments weren't even the fact. Or the headline didn't open with her being a transgender woman being freed. I love that, Mark, and that's the world I want to live in. Like you, we're all equal. Let's. Not...
Yeah, and one thing that bothered me, I don't get sucked into too many people's comments and things like that, but one thing about this is that the Republicans have been championing Julian Assange since Hillary lost. Now Julian Assange, who is WikiLeaks, is like this big hero with some people in the Republican Party and some conservatives. Sean Hannity interviews him. Sarah Palin apologizes to him. So, like, why in the world would they be upset that Obama is commuting the sentence of Chelsea Manning, who gave information to Snowden, who gives it to Julian Assange? He's either your hero or he's not. And if she helped him, why are you upset that she's getting out of prison? You ought to be applauding, right? It's all the same damn thing. You know what? It drives me crazy how people's principles they just compromise them constantly. Like whatever suits their agenda and their power quest is fine with them. Like Julian Assange is not a hero. And a lot of people on the left like Julian Assange. They like WikiLeaks. They hold it up as truth tellers. I think Julian Assange is another Vladimir Putin lackey who hates the United States. I'm going off now, but he wasn't helping Julian Assange. I'm talking about. He wasn't helping Trump because he wanted to, help this country. He hates this country, and I'm sure he's quite happy to see an authoritarian coming into power who can pretty much destroy our liberal democracy if he goes down that path. I'm not going to say he will. But Assange is not a hero to me. He was accused of a crime. He said last week that he would be extradited if Manning was released. So let's see if he keeps his word.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I didn't mean to switch the topic. My point there was simply, I think it's awesome that we can write about people for being people and not for their gender confirmation or being cis or not. That's an interesting question too. A friend posed yesterday, one of my millennial friends who's of the LGBT community, one of those that we can now count because he's open and very open about the fact he's bisexual, and helps me and other friends that are like, well, what's the difference between pansexual and bisexual? But he asked a really strong question yesterday, and I think he was facing it. And he'll come around, I'm sure, and he'll tell me why he asked you discriminate against cisgender people. Do you think there's hatred towards cisgender? And you brought up the point earlier. Cisgender, white men have been privileged for the longest time in this country. And I don't know. It's a good question. Do you think that cisgender people?
First of all, I hope I live long enough to see a day when all of us, including you and me, can just do away with the labels. I'm just so tired.
Agreed.
Of it. So tired of it. I don't think there's discrimination against cisgender people, but there is what I have seen, and I've seen it for the last several years, a certain segment of not necessarily the trans community or population, but queer folks and not queer folks, but who use cisgender or cis as a slur.
Yeah,
it's like die you cis motherfucker. Pardon my language, but I definitely was seeing that. It's like all of a sudden you're a bad person because you're cisgender. It's like, what? Let's be aware of what we're doing to each other.
Well, and it's interesting because the word cis kind of came out of the fact that transgender wanted something to compare to or to set up a non-transgender person. And so they kind of brought the cis word out. I mean, it's been around for a while in sexual terms. But that's where I guess I have my issues. I remember once on our former podcast where we interviewed Megan Stabler and I talked about her a lot. She was on Obama's committee for transgender rights, blah, blah, blah. That world. I love the fact we've added the Q, because I would like to just see it be a Q community. I'm not about the separation. I mean, lesbians are different than bi, that are different than gay, just because we are on that spectrum of sexual perversion, if you will, or sexual oddity, or sexual abnormality, or whatever we separated for. It was a matter of rights. We came together because we were discriminated because of those somewhat similar issues. But the division is not good. I am not a fan of those labels. I don't go around and say I'm cisgender, nor am I proud to be cisgender, nor am I privileged to be cisgendered. It's a biological term, or you know what I mean? I mean, it's like a scientific term.
Yeah.
I can't explain it.
No, I use it now. It took me a while to adjust, but I like it that I'm willing to do that, to learn and change. But I also, and now I use the word queer a lot more, and
I know, I love that.
I didn't like it, but part of that, honestly, is my reaction to what I see coming, which is this. It's like, I'll try to explain it, but some of us were so assimilationist and so deluded by the idea that once we're getting equality, we're getting this, we're getting that, and we're going to be just like them. And they're not treating us that way, and the people who are coming into power will definitely not treat us this way. So my more recent comfortable adoption with the word queer is actually a reaction to that. If you're gonna my eyes opened, the scales fell from my eyes in terms of thinking we were living in a new enlightened era. We're not, and so I'm queer is what I am, and that's the word I'm using now.
And we use the word fierce sometimes, and I like that about the word queer. It is a strong word, and let's own something that people used against us. I know a lot of my friends, yourself included, were bullied using that word. I fortunately wasn't with that word. They used other words like faggot and whatever else. I'm not so sure faggot's the right term to use, because you're not going to call a lesbian a faggot, but I like queer, and we're going to embrace it. Big party tonight, just to finish off your topic and then ring that bell.
Yeah. Let's lighten up.
Did you see this party happening tonight? It's 6 p.m. The event is starting. You can go to their Facebook page. It's a group called Disrupt 20. Work for Peace. They're having a big party outside of Pence's house.
Oh, I thought they were doing it inside. I thought, that's interesting. I didn't read the whole thing. I thought like the current owners were throwing a big gay party or something, but.
No, it sounds like they're throwing it in the Chevy Chase neighborhood of Pence. It's going to include biodegradable glitter and rainbow paraphernalia scheduled in conjunction with a series of actions pegged in the inauguration of President-elect Donald Trump. It's the kickoff to the anti, if you will. He won't be home. Pence is too busy doing something else.
And he won't forget. Should I take my skull cap off?
You sure can. Oh my God.
I just realized that I had left it on all that. Oh, now I hear.
That's good.
I hear a lot better. That's weird.
I like it. Well, that's what happens. Take it off yours. My subject is things of the past that have gone away. I don't know how to start it, but basically I'll start it with a quote from Corinthians 13:11. Oh my God, Betsy's going to be so happy I'm using this quote.
I know, a lot of people are, and they're going to be surprised.
But as a Christian, I love this quote. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of childhood behind me. And basically, I found that quote in reference to the Ringling Brothers, Barnaby Bailey Circus leaving town after almost 150 years. Many of you read that headline. They're giving it up. A lot of it had to, PETA's claiming that their 50 years of attacking them and questioning them about their animal rights practices was a big part of the downfall. Feld Entertainment, which owns it along with like Disney on Ice and Monster Truck Mash or whatever, they basically said, it was just time. The CEO of Feld Entertainment that ran the circus and is putting it to bed this May after 150 years, like I said, his name is Kenneth Feld. He told the AP that the competitor in many ways is time. It's a difficult model. We can't see how it works in today's world. And that led me to dig deeper, Mark, and to read about the things that are gone and have disappeared over the years, because there's so many. I mean, from food items, I was looking the other day, Fruitopia. Remember when that was big in the machines? It was Coca-Cola came out with Fruitopia.
Yeah.
And it was nothing but soda just made to be fruit flavored. Now we've gone the way of as raw as coconut waters, But you'll never see Fruitopia again. Remember tan M&Ms? I saw a picture the other day. I was like, God, there were tan ones. They weren't just the brown black ones. They were tan. Remember those?
I'm going to say I do.
You will when you look at a picture. Clearly Canadian in a blue bottle. God, we grew up with that as a kid. It was like flavored water. Now, of course, there's all these nuances of seltzer and mineral waters and all these different things. The other one I was looking at is Microsoft Office Assistant. Do you remember when that
Oh
little
my
paper?
God, yeah. Yeah.
Good memories. It would pop up
Word
and say, "Would you
perfect.
like?"
I got a list.
Yeah.
When you're done, I got a couple things.
Oh, I want to hear some. How about roller balls in your personal computer mouse? When the mouse first started, that little ball was there, and you'd have to take it out and clean it up and put the ball back. Remember
Oh yeah,
those?
it's all it's like a laser now.
Now it's all laser driven. I mean, simple things like that. Well, you mentioned the rabbits earlier, which made me think of Trix. I made that quote. Do you remember when Trix cereal was actually fruit shaped?
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, Google searched the pictures. Yeah, the banana was shaped like a banana, all that good stuff. Then on the deeper side of things, I got to reading about things that are going away on our Earth. And you look at the challenges of what's coming up with climate control and how, truthfully, fish are at risk, folks. We talk lightly about it. Mark, you and I may not see it in our generation of life here, but fish, are facing big challenges. That leading to, there was an article out Time Magazine did not too long ago about the things to see over the next few decades, places to go that won't exist anymore. One of them, they start this story with the Great Barrier Reef. It's on its way out, folks, in Australia. More than 133,000 square miles being damaged. Venice, Italy. I didn't know it was, they talk about the canals. I didn't realize, how dumb am I, that the canals are based on the fact it's a sinking city. Did you know that?
No, I knew it was sinking.
I had no idea. So they say there may not be that. Glacier National Park once had, I don't even know, hundreds of glaciers, down to like 30 glaciers. So if you want to, go see it before it goes away, because things are leaving us faster than we thought. A couple other things I want to mention, then I want to hear your list. What is this one? This is interesting. Do you remember the days of the Jetsons on TV?
Oh yeah, I love the Jetsons.
And think about that on the other end. So many of those things, the payphones have gone away, and you walk through airports and you see shells of phone booths trying to figure out what to do with them. The idea of doing what we're doing right now was really something launched in the Jetson. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, a lot of what we're doing now.
It's really weird. But when you look down the line, they say, over the next few years, these are some of the things that we're going to lose, and it's hard to believe. And then I'll leave it at that. Keys.
We got a keyless car. It's weird. I mean, I'm used to it now, but
hotel rooms, they don't use keys. So keys are going to postage stamps. They say there's a whole new way. When you think about it, postal service kind of on the decline. Eyeglasses going away. LASIK surgeries, things.
No.
They say it, Mark.
I'm not having surgery on my eyes.
I'm not either, but they're saying going telephone poles. Think about it.
Where are they going?
No, just think we don't need them anymore. Everything's satellite tower. Wallets.
It's not.
Think about it.
You've been in the city too damn long, man. You get out of the city, you see telephone poles, you see wires. No, it's not all.
A lot of electric stuff is going underground now. You're not going to see the old electric poles.
Well, that's not a bad thing. They're ugly.
Wallets. Think about it. They're all online now. Freaking, you got your wallet.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, things to think about that are going away.
And I think some of these things are never going to go away.
Yeah. Like what?
I want a wallet, man. I'm not ever having my wallet online. My wallet is in my pocket and will stay there. I do all of my banking and stuff online.
Yeah. Well, and you're a bit of a traditionalist, though. You like those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm old. And I like, I was going to say Yahoo. I don't know if it's still around, but Yahoo is a chocolate cola. Like, not a cola, but it's a chocolate drink.
It's still around. I buy it from my assistant. She loves it.
Now, what about, you remember Word Perfect? Now, that doesn't go back to childhood. That goes back to my 20s.
When you started your career, Function 7 was cut and paste. And
who uses Word Perfect anymore? And I remember working, because this isn't really childhood stuff, but I remember before I left L.A., I was working in an office, and only one of us had email, and she was the beta tester. She was the only person who could use it because they were trying out this new thing called email.
Oh my God, that's so cool! And back with it was the dial-up sound. Remember? Who remembers this sound? Remember?
Yeah. Oh, totally. And I remember Janet Jackson's song that had when you went online, you had that sound before it connected.
Oh, that was so cool. And remember, speaking of your friend on email, like business emails were free because they're part of it. But remember when you had email accounts you had to pay for it? Now Yahoo's gone. I mean, think about
Well,
it.
an AOL,
Gmail,
good riddance, man. I was annoyed with AOL in the beginning because every time
Gmail,
we went to a movie and it was always
oh,
AOL keyword, amazing and shit like that. I got really tired of the AOL keywords. Goodbye.
God, it's strange. Maps. Now that we have, GPS.
Now it's hashtags, by the way.
Yeah,
We
hashtags are
replaced
kind
keywords
of.
with.
You're right. Those are good ones. What else you got? I love it.
No, nothing. I can't think of anything now. And I'm not.
V, v,
You're You got that knee shake going on.
oh, I know. Do VCRs? Think about VCRs. They're kind of
But
gone.
these aren't really childhood things. We're talking about things that we're old enough to have remembered these from our adulthood.
I know they're like recent things.
Books.
Books. I mean, really, they say technology is, exponential. It all happens so fast, but it's crazy. But, I want to end this with a serious note, folks, talking about climate control and how important it is to remember. And I said, there may be a day where we don't have fish, some of the other things at risk, guys, and it's for real. Look it up. Chocolate, coffee, peanuts, maple syrup. They say the taste of Canadian and maple syrup from the northwest part, or northeast part of our state going away. Coffee, wine at risk. Wine country is a
Coffee
big
can't
risk
go
right
away.
now.
I'm going to protest.
No, we can't lose it. And I protest wine going away, just as we're starting to build a community of people. The wine community in the United States has grown, surpassed production of France. And it's at risk because of prolonged high temperatures, devastating vintages, and on and on and on. Anyway. So that's my topic, Mark, and I think it's interesting. Hopefully it encourages you guys all to take a flashback in time and also kind of be serious about what we can still preserve.
Support the wine community.
Yes.
Be sure. By the way, we are currently living in one of the great mass extinctions the planet has experienced, and people don't even know that. There's like 1,000 species a day are going extinct. Something like that, lots and lots of them. They're just gone, and it's not dinosaurs. We're talking about things like fish and birds and
types
mammals.
Of frogs.
They're just gone. So
it's weird.
My final thoughts are about humor. Now, I can be a funny person. I don't want to assume that I'm funny, but I can be funny. And two things have served me throughout my life: humor and curiosity. I could have been one of those gay boys who killed himself, or gay teens, not because I didn't want to be gay, but because I lived in such a openly hostile society. I could have been a casualty, but I always wanted to know what came next. Like, what's my life going to be like a year from now or 6 months from now? And this is very true. It really has kept me going even today. It's like, even with what we're facing, or some of us fear we're facing with the new administration, I want to see what the country's like in 6 months or a year. I do. I always want to see what's coming up, and I really am glad that I have that as part of my makeup. And the other thing that's a big part is humor. Now, I know I take things very seriously. I take a lot of things very seriously, as you know, but I also have the ability to laugh. And I think when I'm so tired of the tweets becoming news, and we're all being forced into being Donald Trump's Twitter followers because the media reports on his tweets. You can't get away from it unless you just don't read anything or watch anything. But I laugh at some of the nonsense he puts out. He's funny because he's so no, I can't believe that he's who he is, but I laugh at him. I laugh at a lot of other things. And then if I need to do something about it or take it seriously, I can do that and still laugh at it. And I hope more people can discover that in themselves, because so many people are so angry and so frightened and so terrified and agitated. And, don't forget to embrace and experience your sense of humor about stuff. Even in the darkest moment, you can often find something to laugh about. And I'll close with this on that. There have been just like a couple times in my life where I believed I was truly depressed. I mean, being down is not being depressed. And, we have a country pharmaceutical industry that's made billions on telling people that because they're in a shitty mood, they need an antidepressant. But there's at least one time where I was truly depressed. And the way I knew is because I had lost my sense of humor. I was consciously aware that nothing was funny, and I knew I needed help. I needed to do something about it. So humor is like the canary in the coal mine for me. When I can't laugh at something, it's not a good place to be. So those are my final thoughts.
Those are beautiful, Mark, and poignant, no doubt. I love that we get to learn about each other, and
I laugh at you a lot.
You love this hat. I'm taking a little bit on the serious note. And then that reminds me, I was going to read a quote, how we always get down to our final quote of the show. And Mark and I often have the choice of two, and we just put them ready. And one of them, I deleted while the show went on because I was laughing. I was laughing about some of the stuff you were saying earlier. And humor is important because I was going to read a quote from a Democratic congressperson who's not attending the inauguration and why. And rightly so. I mean, she's pissed about what's going on. And I decided not to read that. I want to look at the positive thing. Although it's not humorous, I want to talk about the Women's March on Washington and give a quote from the Intersectional Policy Platform, because it's a beautifully written quote. A lot of my feminist friends, women and men alike, are posting it. Cisgender and transgender friends alike are posting it. But the march, for those that don't know, it is not on Inauguration Day. They're claiming the day of Saturday by itself. Starts at 10 a.m. in Washington, D.C. Sister marches are planned for all 50 states and in 32 countries around the world. It's a big march. Men can march as well, folks, but we are marching for women. We are marching for the rights of women. Very, very important. Mark referenced some of the things that are at risk for us as an LGBT community, but there are also a lot of risks for women.
Many.
There are. And that burger I referred to earlier, speaking of humor, the Golden Shower Trump burger, I think 10% of the money they raised from the $20 burger actually went to Planned Parenthood and organizations we should consider. So here is a quote from the Intersectional Policy Platform for the Women's March. We believe gender justice is racial justice, is economic justice. We must create a society in which women, in particular Black women, Native women, poor women, immigrant women, Muslim women, and queer and trans women are free and able to care for and nurture their families, however they are formed, in safe and healthy environments, free from structural impediments. That's our final quote.
And it's an excellent one. And the one thing I will be looking for are reports and images from the marches, from the Women's March. I'm sure that I'll happen upon something from the inauguration if I turn the TV on, but I will not. I might just turn away. I don't know.
I totally understand. And for those that don't follow Mark necessarily, that just follow Mark here with me on our podcast, The Twist. Check Mark's site out. I used to be a co-editor on it, called LGBT.
No, sweetie, you're not.
SR.
You missed it. It is retired.
Happened?
It is retired. It has gone.
But you still send me stuff from it.
No. As of this week, LGBTSR.org is just go to the Facebook page. The LGBTSR Facebook page will stay up, and it's very active.
That's what I meant to say. You're posting on that, right?
I got 4,000 fans on that. But the website itself, after 6 years, by the way, I did it for 6 years, and it's time for me to focus on the Twist podcast and markmcnease.com.
And your novels, and you can read Mark's. You do a little blogging on your site too, don't you, Mark?
And I'm a writer, and I don't want to take up time plugging myself, but you and I and us and them and there, we're all over the place.
Yeah, we had a lot of wonderful people.
LGBTSR is just the individual posts are all online. I haven't taken the website down, but the URL now redirects to my page. It just has to do with we all got to move on and get the things done that we want to in the time that we have. So it was time for me to do some other stuff like this.
It's like Fruitopia. Time to put it to bed, Mark. But
Absolutely.
Seriously, thanks for all your good work on that. I'm sorry I did miss that. But you can follow Mark at markmcnease.com. You can listen to the podcast, as we said, on YouTube or here.
Libsyn, all over the place. And subscribe to the YouTube channel, folks.
We appreciate it, guys. Send us feedback. We love you. Have a great day and a happy inauguration.
See you next week on another edition of The Twist, America's only.
Oh, wait. Clothing optional
podcast.
Bye.
Bye.
Happy birthday, Rick.